Hello, welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hit the like and the share button. It's the Football Terrace. It's 5 p.m. It's the call-in show. Great guest here for you tonight. Man like Ram in the house doing his thing. He's here. He's back home. His mum's ironing his clothes, making his dinner. It's man like David back again. Actually, he's doing his own ironing though, as you can see. As ever, always on the show, munching on the yogurt. My guy, right-hand man, KJ in the house. And a very special guest on the terrace this evening. Love this young man. He's going to be a huge, huge star on social media, no doubt. It's the Grand Dam back again at the Football Terrace. A Gal is also meant to be here. I'm not too sure where he is. Oh, I know why he's not here. So I didn't send him a link. I'm going to send him a link now because I didn't send it because I'm mad. Actually, Ram, can you send me a link for me? Just easier while I'm hosting the show. But good afternoon, everyone. How are we all?
Well, I don't know how I can be with what happened today and the news that's come out.
Yeah, of course. And we said behind the scenes, we want to spend a few minutes speaking about that. Of course, massive condolences to Claude, his family, his friends. And I do consider myself one of his friends, and it's devastating news to hear of his passing. A lot of speculation as to what happened, and I think we've all just got to wait until that's officially confirmed by his family. But just a lovely bloke at heart, a humble man at heart, someone I spent a lot of time with over the last 5 years, and of course, just devastating news that's happened. That's happened today.
Yeah, it was really mad for me because I remember watching him back in the early days of, or the midway point of AFTV, where it really blew up in terms of the Wenger era, the Bayern Munich 5-1 losses back to back and stuff. And it was just watching him do his thing and become an icon that he is, and then to end up doing YouTube and then ended up being on streams with him was mad in my head because I didn't think that would ever happen. And seeing his struggles, seeing what everything has gone through, for it to end in a way where we don't get a full resolution of he's made it back is, for me, is the sadder part. We've seen some of the tweets that have come out where he said to people in the last couple of days, and it's just overall a sad day for YouTube, football YouTube in general, because it's just, he's a pioneer and he was an honest, passionate man. At the end of the day, he was a kind-hearted man. At the end of the day, so seeing stuff like this happen it always hits you differently.
Yeah, there's no doubt, and obviously Heavy D went in the last sort of 3 to 4 months as well, and both sort of trailblazers for AFTV, which has really opened up the opportunities for all of us here. And we've all got different ambitions with YouTube. Some it's going to be fun for the next year or two. Others, want to make a career out of it and move things forward. And without these people, we may not have the opportunities we have. And of course, individuals make mistakes. And I think it's really important that people are able to atone for that and move forward. And I never had anything but respect, for my personal interactions with him. Dami, did you have much interaction with Claude at all?
No, I think it's Claude for me. Yeah, it actually really does upset me in the sense that I've had very few interactions with him. He'd even it was one of those things where I used to just interact in comment sections. And then the first time he saw me, I didn't even know, you know what I mean? I used to watch him all the time. You know what I mean? I'm not the oldest person in the shop, and I've been watching him for quite a few years. And then when I literally commented under one of his things, I was like, oh, because it was a live stream, and it was just like, oh, I see your content. I love what you're doing. And just he was such a lovely guy. I'm coming from these few interactions I had with him, down to earth. Obviously, like he rightfully said, everyone makes mistakes. Everybody's always on that cancel thing. I know people do make mistakes, but then we need to remember that we're all human beings. Nobody's perfect at the end of the day. So it's a sad thing, man. It's a sad thing. And then everybody's now on social media giving their respects and everything. We just need to remember that, please. I saw bullies saying sorry and putting all their things on social media. If you're part of those people, you need to actually start fixing up, because I keep telling people, words on social media have way more weight than you give them credit for. They have so much more weight than you actually do think they are. But nah, man, it's rest in peace. Honestly, it's a sad thing. It's a sad thing. He was a lovely guy from the few times I spoke to him.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We shared one of one of my most favorite moments that I've ever shared with him on the channel today. It's actually nice timing. We're planning on something on the channel soon to start releasing some classic Football Terrace moments. And one of the first things that ever happened on Fan Park Live is there was a day where just every caller was having a pop at Ty. And Ty's a really good sport. He takes it, he reacts, and it was good. But Claude, what made me laugh, it was the way Claude, it wasn't even what callers would say Ty or what callers would say to Claude. It's the way if Claude's opinion got attacked, Ty would be like, ha. And if it was the other way around, that it was their interaction as a double act that made me laugh, not so much what was being said. And I shared it again today because it was, I think there's a lot of times in Claude's YouTube career, and I've done a massive podcast with him where we spoke a lot about his struggles, and that's really sad. I think it's also important to remember the fun moments, the laughters, the great bits of content, knowledge, and opinions that he shared with us. And it's such a big character, and yeah, it's devastating to see him go far too early. It really was. There's no doubt about that. In terms of football, and I know Claude, and he'd sort of sit in and say, "All right, chat about it enough now. Like chat football. Do what you got to do in relation to that." We obviously are here to speak football. It's what we do at the Football Terrace. We'll pay a little.
But Terry, we can't forget the most iconic moment that he had. It's time to go.
It's time to go!
Legend.
That is absolute.
Can I just say one thing?
Iconic moment.
Of course you can, Gal.
People take a note from this. Learn from something from this. Even if we don't know the actual cause or what happened, just try to be kind to each other, because you don't know how much your words can hurt somebody or how much your words can impact an individual's life. So when you say something, just take a look at yourself before you say it and be like, would you want that said to yourself? Would you want someone to say that to you or your family member or your sister or your brother? How would you feel? So that's how I would try to go moving on from now on, guys.
No, I absolutely. And I think people have got to learn forget the wider spectrum. We just look at what we're involved in with social media football. Someone can disagree with my opinion. I don't need to be personal with them, and vice versa. Like having a football debate and arguing over football should have no bearing on the way you attack or sort of go after someone. I think that's something we all have to sort of bear in mind, and all we pulled and put back into check maybe at times. And I saw someone tweet today, like really sad news about Claude. It should have been Goldbridge. Why would you?
Bro,
why would you say that? It's just disgusting.
I saw that, and I was like, honestly, I was thinking, like, obviously, I work as well, innit? I saw this news at work, and I was like, this is not the sort of thing I'd like to see. You understand? I brought down my mood. And then I'm now seeing people talking about Goldbridge instead. What's going on? Like, this is the problem of the platform. Do you know where I'm coming from? Like, why would you come out and say something as stupid and cynical as that? Or for a few likes and retweets. They do. Like I said, that's why I love that. So they do anything for clout. That's what it is.
You're absolutely right, bro. There's so much stuff that happens, and it is purely for clout and a bit of attention. And social media has got to do more. We're going to speak football. RIP to Claude. Absolutely love you, mate, and we'll miss you so much. Really, really will. Liverpool. We speak Liverpool. Big reports today. We spoke about this young man yesterday. The RB Leipzig centre back Konate, who's linked with a move to Liverpool. Buyout clause of around between 34 and 40 million pound of the quoted amounts. There's a report coming today from RMC that he's undergone a preliminary medical to give Liverpool the confidence in trying to sign him. Massive news, this, if true, because there was a little bit of talk from Leipzig that it isn't going to happen. There's more talk we'll get on to about Chelsea looking like they may try and come in and hijack this deal. I want to go to Ram first as a Liverpool fan. You sort of said yesterday you weren't too keen on this deal because of his injury record. A medical has now gone underway, according to reports from RMC Sport. What's your reaction to that, mate?
Look, I'm gonna keep the same. I'm gonna keep the same energy as yesterday. Like I said it before, he is probably one of the most talented centre backs in the world. If you look at the last couple of seasons, if you look at talent wise, I think he's better than Upamecano in my opinion. But it's that injury record. I've been told he had a muscle fiber injury that he had, and obviously I asked a couple of people that are in the medical field, and they're like, it's a not a bad injury, but you have to be very, very careful with it. Like, if you do any more strenuous activity, it will cause further damage. So I don't want it to be an Aga 2.0 or Matip 2.0 where he's just going to get injured. But if they think he's good enough and he think he's ready to play for a club like Liverpool, I'm gonna back the guy until the end. You know how it is.
I hear you on that, Dammy. I mean, do you see this as a good move for Liverpool? And there are reports that Chelsea might try and hijack this, or is that injury record just too much of a risk?
Oh man, as a Chelsea fan, injuries. Oh no. I'm not a fan of injuries at all, bro. You know, with the whole Pulisic situation, I believe he's a good centre back. You understand? Very young, very solid, does a very good job at Leipzig. Besides, I can't remember the other guy's name, but he does a very good job back there. I feel like for Liverpool, one thing that they were lacking, and I knew was going to cause them a lot of issues, is the fact that they didn't have a lot of centre backs. You know, I'm coming from Virgil van Dijk. Obviously, he's the big man in the building. Once he got injured, we all knew that things are going to go downhill from there. So, Konate, I know he does have a bad injury record, but it's whether you want to take the risk or not. You know, I'm coming from, for me as a Chelsea fan, I know some Chelsea fans are going to be like, oh, you're stupid and whatnot. But for me personally, I think I'll pass on this one. You understand? For me, as a Chelsea fan, I'll definitely have to pass. He has a lot of talent. That's undeniable. He has a lot of talent. He's still very, very young. He's shown very good ability on the ball. He's shown the ability. He's also very aware of his surroundings. He's a very good centre-back. But not for me. But for Liverpool, I think that's a good signing, to be honest. And not even just to take the piss, just because you guys just don't have that depth. And you do need that depth. You need someone that can learn from Virgil. You need someone that actually has the qualities as well. So I think it's a good signing as a Liverpool fan, but as a Chelsea fan, of course, I don't want you guys to sign anyone. So, yeah.
I hear on that. How about yourself, David? I mean, this news about you hijacking it. There's all these little reports starting to swirl about you looking at centre backs. Is that actually something you want your board focusing on this summer?
It's an area of importance. I wouldn't put it first or second. I'd put it third, personally. I think Konate, he's a good centre-back, but I wouldn't be overly too worried about losing out on him. I don't think he's got that star quality that it's like you can't miss out on this person. I don't really understand Liverpool, because Liverpool went out and signed like 3 centre-backs 2 centre-backs and Nat Phillips. So one of them's going to have to be thrown away, or Kabak will just go back. So I don't really see, unless again, they're admitting that their board's not as good as they've all been touting. But I think he's okay. I'm really not that fussed about him. I watch Leipzig every now and then, and I never really look at him and go, whoa, that's their centre back. I never really see that. So for me, it's a pass.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say that. I wanted to ask KJ this, because a lot of things I've read in the last 24 hours have said that technically as a defender, he's better than Upamecano. But it's the injuries that have taken him out of the limelight. What's your view of the two? And would it worry you seeing Liverpool sign a player like this, or do you think bring it on Croc FC?
If Liverpool bring them in, it's more of that's a decent signing, but there's no proof that you'll be able to stay fit. And if a good player is not fit, he's not on the pitch, how can it be? Why would I be worried about him? So for me, I would need to see Liverpool, how they manage and handle him, and if they're able to get him have a season free, a season where he's injury free, or the injuries are very minimal, I would then be like, okay, cool. Now there's something to worry about. But there are so many young centre backs out there. You've got Konate, you've got Upamecano, you've got Tomori, you got Botman, you got Kunde, you got all these different names that you can list. Kunde is, for me, falls into the same category of they're good young centre backs, but bringing them in doesn't necessarily mean, okay, now they're going to have the Van Dijk effect that we have to be worried about. It's more of, you could probably see them taking 2-3 years for them to reach their highest potential. So they need centre backs, but is it the right one? I'm not too sure. And in terms of Chelsea hijacking the deal, why? You've got Tomori out there on loan. You've got Sarr out there on loan. If you want a young French centre-back, you've already got one. You know what I mean? So just bring him back, play him. You got Guehi as well, which everyone raves about. So I don't see why Chelsea would even try and hijack this unless they're bored.
No, I hear you on that. Hey, Gal, how about yourself, mate? I mean, you've been quite critical of Liverpool in the last sort of 9-10 months in terms of their business, how they've operated in the transfer market. Does this look like another mistake waiting to happen to you?
They're seizing on an opportunity, guys. Let's be honest. This injury history that we're talking about is an ankle injury that took out 49 days of his career, and then you have another one which is a torn muscle. Torn muscle fibers. That is a long injury that took over 300 and I think 60 days of his career out of his playing days. So yes, it's been a freak injury where you cannot say, oh, that's going to continue to come back and back and back. So Liverpool might be doing something smart here. They might be seizing an opportunity for an asset that RB Leipzig are selling for a cheaper price than usual.
That's why, for me, it's a gamble. It's the same way with Christian Pulisic. It was a gamble as well. Do you know I'm coming from? Look at Pulisic. Yeah. Everybody felt like talented. I keep telling people, when people ask me about Pulisic, I'm like, remember, there's a reason why Jadon Sancho got into the Dortmund team. Obviously, he was talented, but it was because Pulisic was so injured that they had to get someone else. That's what happened there. So obviously,
One second. You know what this is, Dami? Dami, this is a brand new BMW that got into a car accident and got rebuilt, and the next person is buying it for half price. Why not? If it's
that's true.
This is the thing with the torn muscle fiber. It's not like it's not. I wouldn't compare it to an ACL, but it's an injury where it will keep on coming back. It will keep on coming back. You have to wrap it in bubble wrap. You have to wrap Konate under bubble wrap. Otherwise, you will. Yeah,
something I read about the injury is that if certain injuries like that, if that was 20 years ago, he would never have made it as a pro. It's only because medical science has moved on so far now that you're able to recover. I mean, you got to think back in the day, an ACL injury 30 years ago pretty much ended careers at the highest level. So, but you have to manage these things now. Leg and Sweet, one of our regular super chatters, says, Terry, Konate is Eric Bay 2.0. He can't stay fit. And yeah, he was better than Upper Meccano. I suppose for Liverpool fans, and I'm asking this question, smash the like button as well, please, for us here at the Football Terrace. If you sign him and he spends a lot of time out injured, I only feel like FSG are going to get more and more stick. If they sign him and it turns out to be okay, it's going to be looked at as a masterstroke. But with Ox and Naby Keita and Matip and so many of their stars that they need, having been so injury prone, it's such a risk to take. It really is a big risk.
And Terry, just to add on that, he's getting injured in the Nagelsmann system, and we all know how much pressure and how much work you need to put in for Nagelsmann systems to work. We're talking about Klopp's system, who's much more intense. It feels like
it's gonna be a danger. There's no doubt about it. We're gonna talk about a Man United transfer rumor a little bit later, but I did want to get all your opinions on another talking point today. Big news out of Manchester City that Sergio Aguero is leaving. And if he leaves the Prem, this is the end of another, for me, legendary career in our league. And I'm really interested to know your thoughts on it and where you rank him in terms of just forget strikers, in terms of Premier League greats. Dami, what's your thoughts on him going and where do you rank him?
Man, a lot of people just seem to not pay him his respects because he played for Man City. The work this man put in over the last decade is one of the best. He is one of the best. You can make an argument for him being one of the best strikers the Premier League has ever seen. That's how good he was at Manchester City. Yeah, you can talk about him being inconsistent. Yeah, you can see he got injured a few times. But him leaving is another big, massive individual leaving the Premier League as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it. I mean, you had Lampard leaving, you had Drogba leaving, you had Henry leaving, you had Ronaldo. You'd put him up there because that's the impact he's had at Manchester City. Nobody here, as long as you weren't born in 2012, nobody here, none of us can forget about that moment when you scored that one goal. Nobody, fam. You don't have to be a Man City fan to remember. Even to today, if I put up that audio on YouTube, just thinking about it is giving me chills. I'm not saying that's the moment that defined his career, but him leaving that club, especially where the club came from, he's a club legend. He's a Premier League legend, and he's a massive one to leave. Honestly, he is. So I'm happy that he's leaving because now I don't have to watch him score against my club again. You understand? Like I don't need to witness that no more. But Aguero is still a top striker. He's a very, very good player. And anyone that wants to disagree is just doesn't want to agree because it's Man City. That's the only problem. The fact that it was for Man City. If he did this at United or Arsenal or Chelsea or Liverpool, people would push him so far high into the sky. But hey, it's a Man City.
But people need to put respect on this guy's name, man. The disrespect is absolutely disgraceful. He's the highest scoring foreign player in the Premier League history. Before that, it was Henry, bro. Like, do not people understand the levels that this guy has?
Isn't he?
He has.
Listen.
He has fourth highest. He has the most iconic moment in Premier League history. One of the most iconic moments in football history. He has that. He has the numbers. He has the trophies. He was part of how many different managers? Pep came in and said to him, "I don't really fancy you. You're not going to do the things that I want you to do." What did he do? He put his boots on, rolled up the socks, rolled up the sleeves. I was like, cool then, Pep, let me show you. And was banging goals anyway. And he forced himself back into that team. The way people just like to palm him off like it's just Aguero. Disgraceful, man. He's
interesting. I think there is a genuine argument for him being better than Henry. That is an actual argument.
Nobody cares about that, man. Come on.
No. I know because people say that Henry's like the best player who's ever played in the Premier League. They're like everyone says he's the best. You are an automatic Premier League legend if you can compete with that because he can compete with that. That's how good he is.
Henry 2000s destroyed it. 2010s. Aguero destroyed it. But right now, this news, nobody cares. Everyone already knew he was leaving at the end of the season. Let's be real. Let's be real, guys. Everybody already knew he was leaving. And the way that they're trying to paint it as this harmonious, amazing ending to his career. Let's be real. He's going to win. We already knew he's going to win the league without him. It's not like he's carrying them to the title. It's not this magical ending. I see all your faces. I see everyone getting emotional. But let's be real. We already knew this was coming. It's not all. No
one said. No, but the thing is, no one here said the ending of Aguero this season has been magical. No one who said that. No one said that. We're saying and what is left in the Premier League. It's a legacy, bro.
And you've disregarded what David said. David said there's an argument that you can put him above Thierry Henry, and just there being the argument means he's a legend because Thierry Henry in most people's eyes is the ultimate player. For me, Cristiano Ronaldo is the best player that's played in the league, but in terms of what he did in the Premier League, I can see why people say Henry. I listened to Darren Bent today say that you can't even put him on the same list as people like Drogba, Shearer and Thierry Henry. And for me, I was staggered by it. And I do think what you said there, Igal, is what Arsenal fans do is Arsenal fans will do this to a striker every single time they come close to competing for the title of the best ever. They would play it down. But Aguero has done everything at City that those other aforementioned strikers did for their football clubs, barring win a Champions League. And Henry didn't do that, by the way. He's done everything that Drogba did.
He did win a Champions League, but
not with Arsenal, though.
Not with Arsenal.
Not with Arsenal. There isn't anything really that any of those other strikers have done, barring maybe one specific type of game that Aguero scored in clutch matches. He scored winners. He scored first goals. He scored hat-trick. He scored over 20 goals a season. 5 or 6 times? He won the league. He won domestic trophies. He won domestic trebles. For him, I don't care whether you don't want to put him above Thierry Henry, but for anybody to disrespect him and not look at him as
disrespecting him.
The fact
you did.
No. You guys take it the way you want to take it. I just said the factual statement that this is not news to us. At the end of the day, if I told you this at the beginning of the season, or if I told you this now, this is not news to us. We already seen how the story was being written already. We knew this was happening.
The difference is
this
is the end of an era. This is the end of the Premier League legacy.
Are we going to do this again?
Hold on, I'll let you finish. Hold on. This is the end of a Premier League era. I tell people, and this is something I usually let people. The fact that people are even bringing that says it all. The fact he can even be mentioned along those kind of things. Yeah, you can say Henry's better. Yeah, you can say Shearer is better. Yeah, you can say Drogba. The fact that people are even, those are who you're comparing him to. You're not comparing him to Diego Costa. You're not comparing him to Harry Kane. You're comparing him to the best of the best. Tells you the position he's currently at. So you telling me that him leaving at the end of the season is not a surprise? Yeah, you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
But that's not the point.
We're not talking about the end. But the thing is, we're not talking about the ending, Miguel. You went on some mad antics, like we was talking about. Oh, the ending is so beautiful, magical. No, we was talking about as a whole career legacy. What he's doing is what he's done is beautiful. We're not talking about the ending.
And underrated.
We're talking about the whole career, the whole legacy in the Premier League has been a beautiful career. It's sad the way he's gone out because he hasn't been able to do a swan song. But at the end of the day, we just want to highlight his career.
Do you know what I think? What's really good?
We should do this at the end. We should have this conversation at the end of the season. Have it now, obviously, because it's news. But I think at the end of the day, when this happens, the last couple of games of the season, we're going to have the same story all over again, and then by then it's going to be boring.
Yeah, but he deserves it. Listen, there are certain players in the Premier League, for all of the top clubs and all of the teams that have won titles, that deserve a standing ovation, applause, and thanks from the fans. You know why? You don't even need to support the club, because if Chelsea didn't have Lampards and Drogba's and Hazards, if Arsenal hadn't have had Thierry Henry's, Robert Pires's, Henry's, etc., and the list goes on, the Premier League wouldn't have been as good as it is. We wouldn't have enjoyed it like we did. It wouldn't have given us all these moments that's made us fall in love, not just with football, but with this league. And I know some Premier League fans always like to chat, oh, we're not the best, but that, the other. Yeah, but you're all watching us. And these individual, Aguero has helped to make the Premier League the biggest and the best league in the world. And it deserves homage. It deserves respect. And I, for one, am sad to see him leave from a football fan perspective. As a United fan, I'm happy. However, not massively happy, because it isn't like Company where it might take him a year or two to replace him. They're winning the title without him, and they're only going to bring in someone like a Haaland now. So it's for me, I wish they were keeping Aguero for another year, because what they're about to bring in, it might even affect him. I actually think Haaland's going to come in, and if he does, and do even better. It's an absolute madness. Who do you think, Ram, is the replacement? A lot of talk that it shouldn't be a Haaland because he's a traditional number 9, and that's not what Pep likes. Well, what would you go with for City if you were picking?
I don't know. If whoever says Haaland's not the traditional number 9, they're
no. He says he is. They say he is, and that won't suit Pep's system.
No, but that's still stupid, because he can do other stuff. Like I know David will back me up because he watches a lot of Borussia Dortmund, but he does stuff off the ball as well. Like he will slot perfectly into that Pep system, and he's the kind of player that Pep may like. He has that arrogance about him. He has that drive to be better, and he knows how to put the ball in the back of the net, which they struggled to have once Aguero had his little drop off. You know what I mean? And if they don't get Haaland, I don't think there's anyone else of that caliber is available.
No, there
maybe
is.
Maybe Harry Kane, but won't last.
I'm not saying Harry Kane. There's already a Aguero regen. You man, I play FIFA and Football Manager. The regens of those players that retire. There's already one out there. It's called Lautaro Martinez.
Oh God.
He's Aguero. He's Aguero's son. You know what I'm saying? Like, give Man City Lautaro Martinez. Give Pep Lautaro Martinez. It's over, bro. It's finished.
All City need is a striker who can play football and can finish. The thing is, if you're just an above average finisher, you get 30 goals for Pep. That simple, because they just create so many chances. You don't have Haaland's overkill. Haaland's like, we're gonna score. He's scoring 50 or 60, and that's where you start getting into. Well, this league becomes uncompetitive. That's where it starts going uncompetitive. And an above average striker gets 30 goals for him. And I just don't. Haaland can't go. It can't happen.
He is. Let it go,
Dammy, I saw your reaction there to Martinez being mentioned. You're not a fan of Martinez.
Thing is, I don't run agendas in it. You know, I mean, I do run agendas, but bro, Martinez, why we talk, fam? How you say Aguero regen, bro? Nah, fam.
He is. Give him to Pep.
This season, he hasn't been performing at the level that we.
Yeah, but players go out of form. Players are allowed that. Give Martinez Pep. No, give Pep Martinez. If you see the player that will come out. You're acting like he's a terrible baller. He had one good season.
I don't see because they both share Argentinian passports, bro. I don't agree, fam. I know they both have the same passports and everything, the same set of stamps. But my brother, I don't think they can put him in
by the way, Dami in the league, Lautaro Martinez has the same number of goals and 2 more assists in 10 less games this season than last season.
What'd you say?
He's already got more stats than last season in the league.
I agree, but you man are making
give them Milik. Give Man City Milik, please.
I don't think the thing is like you said,
Milik.
I am not able to see. I'm not saying Martinez is not a good striker. He's a very good striker. Don't get it twisted. That's not my argument. Yeah. I believe anybody. I swear to God, if I played for City, I could probably score like 15 goals a season, bro. You understand? Man, the amount of chances they create every single year, every single game is so much. So if you put Martinez in that system, he could definitely finish stuff. You understand? He could definitely finish off. But for me, comparing him to Aguero, bro,
I'm not saying that. Okay. I said regen. Will he reach the heights of Sergio Aguero? No, I don't believe that he would because he has to score everything. I'm not saying that he will. I'm just saying that there's a player in a similar mold that you can go and get. You know what I'm saying? Like it's already there. Like you don't have to go this. Do I have to go for number 9? Do I have to go for like you've got a player like Aguero ready for you to just put right there. That's what I was trying to say.
You know what's interesting about all of it though is you never really quite know. Like we all think Haaland's going to kill it. He most likely will, but he may not. Haaland gets a little bit more of a stamp of approval from me because he was born here. He clearly grew up playing here, but for a certain age and moved away. So he's got a little bit of a taste of what life is like here. I don't think he'll have to adjust in terms of culturally to living in the UK, especially living in the north, which is where he was born. That may be a little bit difficult. So many players have come here from they're from maybe South America and they've lived in Europe and then they come to Liverpool and Manchester. That's so different from living in Milan or wherever. It's such a different world. Those things can be hard as well, but it'll be massively interesting to see who comes in and works. We had another super chat here. This is from JP, who says Aguero never won City the Champions League like Drogba did with Chelsea. That's where I'm conflicted by calling him.
You can't do that.
Can I use a conversation? This is like saying that because Messi didn't win the World Cup, he's not one of the best players to ever play. Like, let's not do this, bro.
Well, if you use that logic, it means you also can't say that Henry's the best.
You also can't say that Steven Gerrard's a Premier League legend.
Yeah,
there's so many players that don't win those honours.
That's the problem when people create, and listen, I respect the super chat, but for me, when people have those thoughts, those kind of thoughts win you that little battle there and then. They're not thought out enough to think, damn, who am I going to undo here? I used to have that with Have Hope all the time. I love Have Hope, but he'd change his logic every day. And it's like, bro, you just debunked yourself from yesterday or from 5 minutes earlier. For me, like Aguero is one of the greats. I do think, and I've said it many times, if he played for Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, or United, and had delivered in exactly the same way, those fan bases, because there's more of them, would be fighting for him to be number 1 ever. Maybe not in front of Henry, maybe not in front of Wayne Rooney or Cantona at Man United's point of view, but the other teams, it'd be like...
If Aguero played for Hijack, this whole thing of, we saw it coming, man, like, I don't see why we all start... He'll be crying in tears. Aguero's going! I can't believe it!
It's almost like you ignored the whole fact that I said, in the 2010s, he's the greatest striker that the Premier League's had in the whole 2010s. You ignored that whole fact and jumped straight to what I said. Look,
listen...
Realistically, I don't like comparing eras. I don't like comparing eras. I don't like comparing Henry to this guy and that.
This was 10 years ago, Gal. If this was 10 years ago and Henry announced he was leaving and you were like, guys, it's such an emotional moment. And we were like, we knew he was leaving. He's old. What does it matter? You'd be going, don't disrespect my guy. We know what you'd be saying, but look, you're laughing because you know.
Yes, you know.
You know why I'm laughing? I'm laughing because knowing Arsenal, he wouldn't leave on harmonious terms. He'd probably get sold to Barcelona again.
Okay, I get that, right? But, bruv, you get annoyed when we don't respect you for beating Burnley. So you'd definitely be annoyed about that, bruv. Like, you know that. You know that, my guy. Super chat here says, Haaland is the only player that can replace Aguero Anyone else is disrespectful. So less of this Lukaku or Ings talk, please.
That would be amazing.
Before we move on, I want to say one thing about the super chat. It's not about replacing Aguero in terms of we need someone who's now going to achieve better. They just need someone who can score goals because Jesus, is another one of those 4 Brazilian cartel members. You know what I'm saying? He ain't it. So all they need is a decent striker who can finish, like David said, who can play a bit of ball, and that's it. No one's looking to replace Aguero in terms of someone will have to do the same and more for them. That's not what
for the
people are
sake
saying.
of competition, Haaland can't go. For the sake, it's not fair. It's not fair. It can't happen. It's not.
He can't go to you, man. He can't go to you, man. Either.
It's game over.
What
Game
do you mean?
over.
It's game over anyway, bro.
Bro, what do you mean?
It's game over anyway.
Everything. I think they're gonna do the quadruple. Honestly, if they get Haaland, it's done.
No. It's not even if. It's not even if. What I'm saying is, it don't matter if they get Haaland or not. It's over anyway for everybody.
KJ,
it's done.
KJ,
they've got
a tall, wavy man in goal, fam.
Guys,
like,
1 second, guys. There's a comment here from one of the legendary members. It's iTest who says Terry Aguero is a domestic merchant. Never done anything in the Champions League or for Argentina, only the Premier League. For me, you need to do more than just league to be world
Tell
class.
him to come on. Tell him to come on.
We'll open lines in a minute. Do you know what I would say, I attest to that? Nobody's the conversation today hasn't been about is he world class? Is he one of the world's greatest players? It's is he a Premier League legend? Is he a legend domestically? Yes or no? So if yes is the answer. Have we said is he one of the best strikers in the world ever? Some may think he is, but that isn't the conversation. Nice try, I test, but we will open the lines very, very soon. We've got another story we want to touch on, and I kind of want your thoughts on this. According to some reports in Italy today, Man United have been offered the opportunity to sign a playmaker for £60 million by the name of Paulo Dybala, right? Now, the report, when you read through it and go through the report, it isn't suggesting Man United have made the inquiry. It's someone's, I'm about to say knocked on his door, but that hasn't happened with COVID settings. They've obviously emailed or text or whatever they've done to Woodward, and they've offered him the opportunity. One, do you think there's any validity to this? And if you do, it's more of mine's a statement. I want your thoughts on it. This is the kind of thing that worries me about our new setup. It's there. We're going to try and operate it. And then Woodward gets a nosebleed because somebody offers him a star player and he throws the plan out, he throws the baby out with the bathwater and goes, you know what, Myrtle, hold fire with all those targets. I'm stepping into action here. I'm bringing in Dybala. Any concerns that he could actually do a deal like this? Or do you think it's just agents trying to sell a story? What's your thoughts here, KJ?
No, this is definitely true. Because is this 2019? Is this 2020 when we got offered Dybala and we was trying to swap him with Lukaku? But we've been here for, fam. They were talking to my brethren. You know what I'm saying? They've been talking to him. So I think it's true. I think someone, how easy it is to knock on Woodward's door and say, yo, I've got a player here. Do you want him? Will he go and do it? I don't know. I'm not saying we will sign Dybala, but am I worried that it's something we can do? Hell yes, because we've seen it time and time again. There's no evidence to say that he definitely will not do it and someone do it. So I am definitely worried when anyone comes to
says that it's Juve that are trying to offload him. That's Juve that are going to clubs, and one of the clubs that they've supposedly spoken to has been Manchester United. Dammy, what's your thoughts, mate?
Man, I see man KJ is talking about he's been working for United before in 2019 and whatnot, bro.
No, I'm not talking about Dybala. I'm talking about Woodward. Right, he has been speaking to all these players. He's tried it before. And that's what I'm worried about. Dybala is not an issue. Dybala is a really good player. But the reasons why we would sign him, I would be worried.
That's the thing. My thing is, like, once again, I literally just had a conversation with you like a week or so ago about Dybala because apparently even I saw some news. I don't know what platform it was. They're talking about him coming for Chelsea. I think for me right now, this is definitely a stunt from somebody somewhere trying to. These are events are trying to offload Dybala. His agent is trying to get him trying to stir up some controversy to be like, oh, Chelsea won Dybala, United won Dybala, all this to sort of get like a war going on to get. Because to be honest with you, Dybala is one of them players where if I was in charge of football, he's like, I won't call it. I like Dybala a lot. You understand? I personally like him a lot as an individual. Is he playing well right now? Absolutely not. Dybala from 2016 can't be topped. The one that was under Sarri, he even sort of came back a little bit and he went back down. Him going to Man United for me, what? That's why I said under Sarri. Quite good.
Yeah, but I said last season he won.
That's what I said. That's what I said. Under Sarri became good again, but you see his nose dived again. So for me personally, him going to United is like, it's just more news coming out. You know, I'm coming from like how is people they are trying too hard to get him out.
Here's my question to you guys, to you rivals. If we signed Dybala, would you worry or would you laugh?
No, because your manager is going to Solskjaer.
You'd laugh, innit? You guys would laugh
because
if you signed Dybala.
I would laugh because your manager is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. That's how I would laugh.
Hang on. You guys would laugh if Manchester United signed Paulo Dybala.
Yes.
I would laugh.
Really?
I would laugh.
No, you know why? You know why? Because it's like a door-to-door salesman comes to every single club's house, says, "You want Dybala?" And they're like, "Yeah, we'll take him, but we don't even need him." That's kind of like what I see.
Ram,
I get that it's Dybala. I get that he's a good player. I get that he's a good player. Yo, listen.
This is like asking me. See, Dybala going in here. You man literally operate on Ole and Bruno Fernandes pray to God tactics. That's what United do right now. Why would you bring? That's Dybala's position, bro. Where Bruno Fernandes plays,
I'm sorry. He can play right wing. He could play right. Imagine Rashford, Dybala on the right, and someone like Martial or Greenwood in the middle. I would shit myself.
That's the issue. Ram. There's the issue where it lies. You said he can play right wing. He ain't a right winger, bro.
He's not a right winger, bro.
He's not a right winger. We all know this. He's a cam. He's a number 10.
You know what you said?
Play as an inside forward.
Go on, Dammy.
No, bro. This is the equivalent of this is when Chelsea fans see. This is the equivalent of telling me Mason Mount can play on the right wing. What you've just said, that's exactly what it is. That is not his best position. That is playing as a right wing. This is the equivalent of playing Havertz on the right wing. Yeah, they could do a job there. Yeah, they are good players, but that is not his position. Why would you buy the ball as a right winger for Man United?
Because
Bruno Fernandes is not good.
I'll end it here. Ram, you need to let go of the fact that his name is Dybala and actually think, what do Manchester United need? They need an out-and-out right winger who's played there for years and is experienced at doing it, and not just he can.
Even beyond that, even more importantly than that, they are offering him into Woodward. They are circumventing this new culture and structure that we've put in place. If Woodward overrides the new structure and brings in a player that he has desired, that he might be a bit like you, Ram. He loves Dybala. Do you know what, guys? I know we've got these 3 targets that suit the system, the style. It doesn't matter what the style is, whatever it is. That Ollie wants desperately, that they've got the right personality and they want to be here. I'm overriding all of it, and you're going to have Dybala. That is just what we've done so many times before and failed. It's Alexis Sanchez 2.0. It's all those types of signings that nobody wants them. Even Fred was a player that the manager didn't want, and we can't behave like that. Plus, as you say, Bruno Fernandes, it's his position. You know, I know a lot of people talk about, someone said to me the other day, I can't remember who it was. He plays better in like an 8 role, and I've seen him play for Portugal. He holds onto the ball better.
Aiden.
But no, it wasn't Aiden. Somebody else was chatting to me about it. And my question to them was, okay, great, but then who scores the volume of goals that Bruno Fernandes does? Because I don't know if Dybala could even do that, because he's got a pedigree of scoring at the same scoring and assisting at the same rate as Bruno Fernandes. As far as I can see, I don't know if he has. So you put Bruno in there, we lose the goals. You can't take Bruno out of that position. That's Dybala's best position. It makes zero sense to me. It would be one of those vanity signings under Woodward.
It'll be there just to make PP happy again, because them man are brethren. You know what I'm saying? That's all it'll be there for.
It would be FIFA 22 settings. That's what that signing would be. It's like you're playing FIFA. If you sign him, that's FIFA, isn't it?
Dybala might end up at my club or Spurs. Let's be honest. That's
whoa.
And you know what? This is another. No. Hear me out. The reason why I say this is because it's one of those players. It's one of those players that a major club is trying to offload, and if they're going to offload them, I don't think Manchester United should be that club that is taking players that are being offloaded off their wage bill that don't fit their system. In our situation, we need bodies. We just need talent. So we would take those.
Do you have the wages? No.
Yeah, we
it's
do
not even
have
that.
the space in the wage gap. We do have the space in the wage.
Okay.
Gal, what about Odegaard though? What happened to Odegaard?
Well, that was about to be my question.
No.
Two of my quick. So one sec. There's two questions there I want to ask. Sorry, guys. So you've got the Odegaard situation, but doesn't it stink of Willian? Doesn't it stink of giving Aubameyang a big contract and it not quite working? Have you not been stung twice in the last year by
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying.
Oh, you're just saying you could see your team doing something stupid like that.
I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm just saying I don't see Manchester United going in for that kind of signing. I see it more realistically going to a Spurs or Arsenal. Even Chelsea, I don't see them going for that. I think Dybala has now been linked to every major club in world football. The way Coutinho is being linked to a majority of major clubs in world football. Do you really see any of those guys improving your team? Do they fit your team? I don't think so.
Maybe.
Wait. Are you saying Dybala to Liverpool because he's better than Firmino?
Nah, he'll just be an extra option. He'll be a world class option.
He's better than Firmino, bro. What are you talking about? You just here all panicking that we wouldn't take him at United, and now you're saying he's not even better than Firmino, bro. He
is. Wait.
Bro, no. Why do people think Dybala is some spring chicken that's fresh off the block? You know he's about to turn 28 years old. Have you forgotten that?
Yeah,
he's not 23. You know that,
prime.
Right?
He's in his prime.
Yeah, but
This is his prime, yo. Sarri has left and he's nosedived back again. I don't think is that the player you want to get at your football club right now? Liverpool, the reason why you guys were so successful the past 5 years was because at the end of the day, you guys signed individuals that were in that age bracket that it made sense. Firmino, look at Mane, look at Salah, 24, 25. You sign them kind of players. You don't just sign 28 or 27-year-old. Why do you think I'm against the Hakim Ziyech thing? You don't just sign all those kind of players if you're not going to be certified that they're going to kick off for your football club.
No,
so why would you go ahead and sign Dybala right now?
On that, you have to look at where we were at that time when we signed these players. We were at a point where we were looking to get top 4. Now our expectations has risen where we need to go look for a title. And that's when we need players that have played in the best competitions, produced at the right moments. And Dybala has done that. He has.
But
1 second, KJ. So do you think, has Dybala got a desire to play for Liverpool? Is there any link? You know, don't you guys need a proper striker? He isn't a striker. He's a support striker, stroke 10, whatever you want to call him. He's not an out-and-out striker. That's what you need, right? A goal scorer. Like this season, the biggest reason you are where you are has been the lack of conversion rate, the lack of goals. Does Dybala bring that to you?
It's hard to say because he has a good goal scoring record for Juventus. Like
for his position. For his position as number 10,
keep the same energy. Keep the same energy. He's injury prone, right?
Like if he only had, it's only last season he had a massive injury. Not. And what?
Don't make me pull up the injury history.
Well, Ibrahima Konate. Hang on. On that injury history with Konate's had a major injury for the last 2 or 3 seasons. I don't know what you're on about.
2015-16 missed 30 days. How many games is that? 4 games. Then 2016-17 he missed a total of 14 games. Then 2018-19 he missed a total of 7 games. Then you go to 19.
Igal. Sorry to inject. I don't care about games. How many days? And so why it's important for days, because sometimes you might get a major injury with 4 games of the season left to go and miss 4 months. It's still an injury that's had your body out of action for 4 months. So how many days did they miss?
31 days. 16 December, 42 days. February of 2018, 38 days. May of 2019, 20 days. May of 2020, he missed 46 days. Just last September, he missed 47 days. And that's just the large numbers. There's smaller gaps.
That is chunky. See, that's chunky days. And as you saw there, one of them was in May. So people are like, he only missed 2 games. That's because it was in May, but his body was still out of commish for 40 days. Like, you can't discount that. It's important. You know, like last season, right? Rashford's injury, statistically, in terms of games missed, he got, because it was a COVID break, he come back and made the season. So when you look at it, he was out for like 3 months, but he didn't miss very many games, right? But that's disingenuous to the fact that he was out for 3 months, right? He's still out for that amount of time. Khalil here says, what are the odds on Haaland joining City in flops? Bruv, 1,000 to 1.
2%, 1%.
It's
Not even.
As in, wait. As in, like, so the odds. So both of them together is the odds of he joins City, which I think is pretty
And
high. It
flops.
could be pretty high, and also flops. Yeah, that's low. That takes it down to like 10%.
Yeah.
Like,
I got
I
a
mean,
question. Go on, Dammy. I'll go ask you a question, actually, Dammy.
Yeah.
Would you like Haaland at Chelsea, and do you think you can get him?
Would I like Haaland at Chelsea, bro? Bro, if I needed to lie down flat at the airport for him to step over me as the rug, yeah, he can come down, bro. You know, I'm coming from. If I needed to show for him to stand for Bridge London, you understand, and all that. If I needed to take the pictures, if I needed to wash his under, say less, man. Because for me, Haaland, he's going places, bro. You understand? He's definitely going places. Do I think he's going to sign for Chelsea? Now, a lot of people have been talking about him possibly signing for City, but I don't think everybody has seen me know Raiola's his interview with The Athletic.
Tweet.
He had that thing. He had the interview with The Athletic, and it's clear as day that he doesn't like Pep Guardiola. Who manages City? Pep Guardiola. Who's Haaland's agent? Mino Raiola. Now, like I said recently, I also said that City are the kind of club that could throw like 50 million at Raiola and be like, "You give us this, brother." And he would have to hold his hands up very high and be like, okay, I'm going to do that. And with FFP also being thrown away this season as well, that's a different conversation. But for me personally, I think he can sign for Chelsea. Like I keep telling a lot of people, Werner, Havertz last season, nobody gave us a chance. Absolutely nobody. But hey, what happened? We went over the line. I ended up getting them. Now, Haaland is different level gravy, different level sauce, and way, way more expensive. But in world football right now, I would definitely back Chelsea to get in. I would put money on it that he would come for Chelsea football.
Dammy, would you be okay with Tammy Abraham leaving?
Yes. If he meant to.
Thank you very much.
I'm not going to waste time on that. Absolutely. If I need to drive him out to West Ham Playground, I would do it as well. You understand? That's just how it is.
Guys, I got some super chats here. First one says, would Jesus be considered a flop, seeing as Man City created so many chances? Now, do you think Jesus is good?
No,
I don't think he's a flop
because he misses them.
I mean,
I want to say,
is he a flop?
he's not a flop. He's just not. He just hasn't lived up to expectations. He's not a flop. He's done. Literally, his goal scoring record, low key, is very, very good. His goal scoring ratios, low key, are very, very good. He isn't a flop. He just isn't the striker that he was for that he could have been. Yeah. He just isn't that. But he's a good player. He's a good striker. He's just. I like calling him a four because it's funny. But at the end of the day, it's not a flop. He's not a flop.
He's still young, still very young. He's 23.
I feel like he still scores a lot of goals, all comps every season in comparison to strikers that are playing.
That's because he plays. That's because he plays for Man City.
1 second here, guys. So there's a comment here that says Haaland moved to Norway at the age of 3, so he did not grow up in the English football system. So if I said he grew up in the English football system, then I apologize. I thought he left a little bit later on in life. So there we go. Fair enough. We know that one. His dad did, though. He grew up around it. I still don't think he'd have much of an issue, but thank you for pointing that one out to us, bro. Appreciate it. I swear I read in an article the other day, it was like 8 or 9 when he went home. But there we go. We live and we learn. By the way, moderators, I'm being serious. You're there to stop people putting in sexism and racism. Stop fighting with each other, please. I know you're all going to have your own disputes, but please stop. You know, we've got a big announcement coming soon, and people we're partnering with, they want it to be professional, so keep it professional. Let everyone chat and talk. That's why you guys in the comments really should be chatting to us and not each other, because half the time, about 50% of the chat are just fighting with each other, and it's like, I don't think they're actually listening to what's being said. It's a madness. Just chill yourselves out a little bit. And nobody else is being made mod right now either. God, it's crazy. Just leave it. Do you know what it is? If one of the mods don't like another mod, just don't talk to each other. It's so easy. It's a madness. There we go. Yes, Strip Bear, all of you, listen, you know how much I respect you, Strip Bear, but stop fighting with other mods and stop. If they're saying stuff to you, ignore them. I don't want any disputes on the air. Come talk to me privately. All stop now.
Them man are doing a football terriers civil war, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, who's Captain America and who's Iron Man, fam? Like,
it is crazy. I'm looking at it like, what is going on? What is going on? And I know I keep talking about the announcement, but it is coming soon. Ink has the signatures have been done. Thursday/Friday announcement coming from the 1st of May. New content coming. Pilots being. It's going to be. I can't wait. going to be
Wait,
amazing.
when the new deal comes and half the mods disappear, yeah, that's basically Infinity War. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, just getting snapped, bruv. And then when there's a load of new mods, that's Endgame all over again, fam. I'm telling you, we are
Listen,
the Avengers.
all my mods, I pick them because they watch the channel. I respect them all individually. It's just some days it's rant, some days it's all good, and then some days they're just like fighting each other, like who's King Mod, and I'm sort of like, listen, you're all great, just do your thing. I love and respect you all. Any racism, any sexism block. Outside of that, it's all fair. If they're criticizing your opinion, accept it. It's just the way it is. Man.
Yeah, Terry, bring it back to football quickly. Can I say one thing to these guys? I want to ask the Chelsea fans. I want to ask the Chelsea fans. Tell me, what makes you think, if it was just clear cut between Chelsea or Man City for Haaland, which is not, do you think do you genuinely believe he'll pick Chelsea over Man City?
You're talking like the agents are not an important thing, bro. Do you know where I'm coming from? The agent that's the key. That is the Raiola, yeah. Raiola will not bend over for anybody, bro. He doesn't do it. He wouldn't work for nobody. And the fact that he hates is a strong word. He hates Guardiola. So the probability of that happening, obviously Haaland could be like, ooh, Man City. And then he's just like, nope, you're not going there. He has that sort of power, bro. He has that kind of power. So that's why I'm giving Chelsea a bit of a chance. Once again, I keep telling people, with FFP being stripped away and being cancelled, you could don't be surprised if Real Madrid get like a silly cash injection from somewhere, or Bayern Munich. A lot of the big clubs, we thought that they were finished because of the whole route. Some ghost money could appear. So I'm not saying that it's a dead deal for Chelsea. Definitely not. You understand? But for me right now, because of the relationship Raiola has with Guardiola and Manchester City, I'd give Haaland the higher chance of coming to my club. So
I think, do you know what? For me, if all's fair in terms of monetary and everything else, it's going to be the club that wants him the most. I think Haaland wants to be wanted. And because of the relationship that Guardiola has with Mino Raiola, I think there'll be less want. There'll be because to speak the way it is, it's like to speak to Haaland, you're going to have to go through someone you dislike, and I think there'll be a disconnect there where Tuchel and Chelsea can just be like, Haaland, here's a box for you. Roman will buy him a car. Roman will give him his yacht for the weekend.
Have you seen? By the way,
one sec. And Roman has a hard-on for Haaland, so Roman is going to bend over backwards to get his man. And if Haaland's someone that wants to be wanted, the person that wants him the most, with all things being equal financially, will get him. I make Chelsea the front runners in England to land him, as long as they're prepared to offer the money.
Okay, what about Thomas Tuchel's? What about Thomas Tuchel's former issues with his former club, Dortmund?
So on that's all been quashed by Dortmund. Dortmund have come out and stated there is no problem. That's all been quashed. That was rumors, but that's all been quashed.
It was only him and Leonardo had a problem.
I got a question for you, Gal. Take out Manchester City. It was Manchester City, and it was Man United. Who would you say he would more likely to go to? Man United or Chelsea?
Between Man United and who?
And Chelsea.
Between Man United and Chelsea, I would say I would give Chelsea the better odds.
Okay, cool. I was just doing the SALT test.
Guys, we have a very weird account here putting pictures of foxes in. It's called the Grand Dam Exposed.
You know what it is, that guy, honestly, that guy, big up to you, because your work rate is unreal. I banned this guy and he spawns back. You understand? It's ridiculous. He's everywhere I go. I don't know how you have my schedule, bro, but big up to you.
He's inevitable, bro. He's inevitable.
My man is inevitable, fam. So big up, man.
Comment here from Legend Sweet says Haaland wants Man City, and Pep said he, but issues aside, we can put his issues aside with Areola. And of course he can. And I'm not saying you won't, bro. And I'm not saying you won't. But the big thing I've read in all these reports is Haaland wants to be wanted, and Roman typically gets what he wants. It just depends there. But do you know what I'm really looking forward to? I think it's going to be an epic battle. I think there's going to be serious ups, like sort of what you'll get is this. It'll be blow for Chelsea, advantage City, blow for City, advantage. I think it could end up being long and drawn out because Mino Raiola is involved. I don't think it will be a quick decision. I don't think it will be a transfer that happens on the 1st of June. It might be a late July type.
I mean, we've got to deal with Raiola twice this year because of Donnarumma as well. So You know,
because that's gonna happen, right?
Yeah, but
I need a new goalkeeper. I need a new
What about
goalkeeper.
Oblak?
in terms of this super chat, if you
Never
if you
happened.
did somehow manage to bag Haaland, what would you do?
I would have to mute
It's
it
never
out.
happening.
Well,
Let's be real.
Do you know what? Arsenal bagging Haaland is like Ram going on a date with Beyonce.
Why?
Listen,
Why?
There's a bigger issue. There's a bigger issue at hand.
Why?
There's a bigger issue at hand. In that super chat, you guys didn't realize the fact that we have been linked to the likes of Haaland, but honestly, I can't believe any of these links anymore because they're absolutely ridiculous. One day we're being linked to Haaland, next day we're being linked to Suarez coming back, Aguero. It makes no sense anymore.
No, but the Suarez Aguero, that makes sense.
The thing is, I keep telling
Honestly.
people, all these journalists, they need to feed the people at home. You understand? So literally, Arsenal transfer news is dry, bro. You know, I'm coming from. They're linked to everybody right now. Let me tell you right now, if you man sign Haaland, I'll shave my eyebrows, fam. You understand? That's what I'm doing. I'm not doing less of that, fam. Absolutely.
It's never happening.
Arsenal have it's just beyond no chance. I think Man United would have had more chance in the noughties of signing Steven Gerrard than Arsenal getting Haaland now. Like that's how rare it would be. But I even feel that about Jack. I even feel that about Jack Grealish. I think Arsenal have got absolutely zero chance of even a player of that level. Where's Aaron? Who shared the link with Aaron? I'm so intrigued.
I pull it out there because it's time, bro. It's time.
Time for the calls. I was like, I swear I didn't do that. And recently, I've done a few things where like I forgot my age recently. I forgot to lock a door. And then I was like, did I share the link and forget? I thought I was losing my mind. So we're going to start going to a few calls here. It's been put out. Come on and have your say. Ask some questions. Aaron is here first. What you saying, bro?
Hey, Terry. Firstly, I just want to say before anything, rest in peace to Claude, man. He was, people don't know this, but I spoke to him a few times and he was a real mentor. He sort of showed me the YouTube ropes for a bit. So, I was broken by the news today. So I just want to give respect to Claude because he deserves it. He showed me what to do and he showed me the way. So I want to give my respects to him. And he wanted me to talk about football, and that's exactly what we're going to do. He loves his humour. He loves his humour, and that's exactly what we're going to do right now. Igal, respect to you, bro. But I think I've got a theory as to why you don't like the fairy tale ending that Aguero seems to be getting. I think deep down you might realise that Aguero and Aubameyang and Lacazette might not get that same send off. I think that's maybe the reason why. But no, in all seriousness, look, with the Konate stuff, yeah, I get the injury record. I think that, that's obviously going to be a bit of a risk with Liverpool's injuries, and especially in their defensive positions. It would be a waste of the money they're looking to spend on this guy. But if it pulls off and they go off the injury record and it gets better for him career-wise, then it is a good defensive purchase. On the Aguero,
Aaron, are you using? What are you speaking through? You got like earbuds or something in?
No, I'm using my phone right now.
I'm getting a bit of interference. Try calling us back with some earphones, bro, because I'm getting a bit of interference, mate. Listen, I appreciate you coming on and having your say as ever, mate. Hang on, I've done something really mad now, and it's all on. It's all.
I was just going to quickly say, Terry. With the Aguero stuff, I know what it's like to have a legendary set. I'm going to have a legendary send off this season because we've got Coppinger retiring after 18 years. So I know what it's like to say goodbye to the end of an era, and I know how good this guy. I know how good Aguero is.
Aaron, getting really bad interference in the ears, mate. Listen, try to call back with some earphones in, mate, and I'll speak to you again soon. Top man, thank you. Next on the show, Ransom Pants is behind the scenes. It's the troll, but he hasn't connected the device. We've got ads 03 is going to be on with us now. What you saying, mate?
All right, can you hear me? Yeah,
bro. What you saying?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Listen, I'm an Arsenal fan, innit? And then listen, this Henry and Aguero talk, bro. Listen, they're not the same level, There's levels to this game when you're getting 25 assists in a season and getting 20 plus goals as well. There's levels to this game, This guy, 6 seasons in a row getting numbers that he's getting. He's the GOAT, man. That's this act. All the things that he's done, and the itis as well. Bloody hell, the guy could dribble like some next. I'm telling you, bro. He's the greatest in the Premier history.
That's all that Henry's the greatest, but Aguero is still one of the greatest, right?
Yeah. No doubt, of course. But then the thing is, yeah, on social media they just try to get him onto his level, but it's just not true, man. Come on, the guy, he's just alone at the top, and I'm yet to see anyone come close to his level in the Premier League.
True, though, is it?
Cristiano Ronaldo. Cristiano Ronaldo was a Ballon d'Or winner, won 3 Premier League titles on the bounce. He was beyond Henry's level.
Terry, I agree with that, yeah. But the thing is, in his era, Henry had to compete with the R9, one of the greatest of all time. Obviously, he's not going to get the recognition because of the competition he was in.
Ronaldo beat Messi to that Ballon d'Or.
Yeah, but Terry, Messi at that time, he was still a great player, but he wasn't at the level of R9 was at the time when Henry was playing. Do you get my point? Like Messi's R9 was in his.
I hear you on that, but Cristiano Ronaldo was easily on, if not above, Thierry Henry's level as a footballer. So there was at least one, and other people there or thereabouts. I don't think people are disrespecting Henry by saying Aguero is in that ballpark, and I wouldn't take it that way, in my opinion. But appreciate the call, mate, and you having your say. Thank you very much indeed. Do any of you feel like they're trying to? I don't feel like Henry's being disrespected by Aguero talk.
They're putting down Aguero, man.
You know, it's not. It's Arsenal fans doing Arsenal fan things again. That's sensitive, bruv, about everything because their team sucks, fam. That's what it is.
Hey.
Like, that's what it is. Like, they've only got all they've got right now is to hold on to the fact that Henry's one of the greatest players to ever play in the Prem, the Invincibles, and the fact that they're back. That's all they've got to hold on to. So whenever there's conversations about it, it's like you're trying to say Henry's not as good. How dare you? It's like, no, bro. We're talking about Aguero, not every day about Henry.
Sorry, go on, Danny. Sorry.
I say it's like fighting with a homeless man for their last bag of bread, fam. You understand? That's what it is. These man, they don't have nothing no more, bro. You understand? He got on nerves, fam. He knows that's all that's left, fam.
That's why he's smiling, bro.
Listen. We're not the ones that are pushing this agenda. I've seen a lot of United fans, a lot of fans from other clubs, rivals to City, putting this agenda out also. So it's not just Arsenal fans. Let's be real.
Well, so far on this show, it's all we've heard from is Gunas say that. Speaking of Gunas, Itest actual son is now on the show. What you saying, mate?
Hey, Terry, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. What's on your mind?
Yeah, can I just say, as an Arsenal fan, don't believe Arsenal fans. Complete delusion. Yeah. But it's true. It's true. Listen. First, let me touch on Aguero. Obviously, Aguero was one of the best of this time. Obviously, one of the best strikers since he came. He bagged lots of goals. The clutch player, did amazing things, and I think he's just not respected enough. And to be honest, with this Henry and Aguero, don't compare them. Appreciate both of them. Yeah. Don't want no comparing. Aguero's going to the end of the season, yeah? Just be happy you saw him.
Listen, we should be happy. No, I hear you on that one, bro. Thank you for calling into the show and having your say. Really appreciate that. Timmy is on next. Timmy, who do you support?
Liverpool.
Yeah, what's on your mind? What do you want to say, bro?
RIP to Claude. I'm a Liverpool fan. I went to one game with my friend. I got to meet him and tired. They were just bad. And hopefully people can think about life in general and like the stuff you do, the stuff you say. And yeah. But also like with Konate, I'll say with his injury, it's when Ram said it was related to like ACL, it's not like ACL. It's like if you were to tear your hamstring or your
I never said it was ACL. I said it was a torn muscle fiber, which is
I'm saying like
normally no. I'll put it in context. I've been told from a lot of medical professionals that a torn muscle fiber is due to a lot of stress put on that muscle, and if he's playing at a level which his muscles can't take, how can he play for Liverpool? That's what I'm asking.
Let me say it's like, you know, it's a muscle fiber is your hamstring and your quads. That's literally what it is. And the muscle that he injured was his hip flexor. Out of all the muscles that requires the most movement, your hip flexor requires the less. And I saw the clip of how he injured it, and it's not like something you would do again. And I'm saying like, it's not like let's say he's less likely to injure it more than anything. They're more than anything else. Let's say Dembele. You know how he tore his hamstring? He continuously injures it because that hamstring requires the most amount of movement and stuff like that, and it's getting weaker from the tear. Let's say it's.
I hear you on that, mate. Listen, great call. Thanks for coming in and having your say and having your challenge, Timmy. Really appreciate that, bro. Thank you. Special guest coming on now. Man like Eye Test is back with us again. Eye Test, what you saying, bro?
Yes, I want to talk about Aguero, and I want to talk about the comment I made earlier. So I want to clarify what I said. So for me, with Aguero, yeah, he's a Man City legend. That's without a doubt. But I don't think he was ever world class, and I think people overrate him a little bit when they say they're world class. Because for me, like I said in a comment, I think to be world class, you can't just only do it in your country. You can't just do it domestically. You have to do it either for your country as well, or in the Champions League. You have to ball out in the Champions League or for your country to prove that you're world class. And he never did that in the Champions League. No one can tell me he's been a success, he's been a failure, but he has time. He has time this season. He has to prove before it's too late. Because for me, Lewandowski, for a long time, I've said that he wasn't world class because he didn't do it in the Champions League. But last season, he proved it. He won the Champions League, and that's when I started.
So when you say do it in the Champions League, define what you mean by doing it in the. What do you mean by doing it?
I didn't really.
Hang on, eye test. Wait a second. What do you mean by do it in the Champions League? Can you define that for me?
So you have to ball out in the semis, the final or quarters. Like you have to.
No. Okay, but okay. Ball out. Stop. Sorry. Ball out is a very broad, ambiguous term that you can manipulate after the fact in any which way you want. I want specificity. What do you want to see from a player to consider it balling out in one of those rounds? What do they need to do specifically?
Okay. Just have a great performance in the latter stages in the Champions League. And for example, Lewandowski, I think last season, he tied the record for most goals in a Champions League campaign. So I think that season, it proved, it cemented him as a world-class player. Before that, I never called him world-class. Aguero, if he does that this season, let's say he scores a goal in a semi, and has a great performance.
Sorry, KJ, can I ask you a question? Test. So do you not consider the original Ronaldo R9 world class then?
Well, I said for country or Champions League, and he did it for country.
So long as you did it for your country, then it's fine. Okay,
no, so my question is, my question is, so do you discount the group stages of the Champions League? Because say if a player has a poor group stage and then only just gets a goal or two in the semis or the quarterfinals, surely that doesn't equate to being world class, because Divock Origi got 2 goals in a semi and a final.
Yeah, but Divock Origi, that's all he has. That you need to ball out. Yes, Divock Origi balled out in the final.
Sorry, Itest. You know what I say? I was only challenging Itest because I want to understand where you're coming from. If that's your definition, yeah, and I know you did. And if that's your definition, then you allow that definition. But what I'd like to see more from you, Itest, is you not continually change your definition. So if you like a player and say he's world class, but he hasn't done it in the Champions League yet, or he hasn't done it for his country yet, I don't want to see you chop and change and yield. Like my thing about great managers, you've got to have won back-to-back league titles in the Champions League. Until you've done that, you don't, by me, ever get considered a great manager. And that will never change. Even if a United manager wins 4 titles in 8 years, but never back-to-back, I won't call him great. It's as simple and as straightforward as that to me. But in terms of domestically, where would you rank Aguero in terms of Premier League greats?
In terms of Premier League greats, I would say he's top 5 Premier League strikers ever for me. For me, I think Thierry Henry is number 1. Number 2, probably Alan Shearer. Number 3, Rooney. And probably number 4, Aguero, I'd say. But he's definitely top 5.
On Alan Shearer, he's got the most goals, but only 1 Premier League. Rooney and Aguero don't have as many goals as him, but they have more Premier Leagues.
Yes, they have more Premier Leagues, but Aguero, Alan Shearer won it for Blackpool, yeah, and
Blackburn.
Blackburn, my
Yeah,
bad.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
he's the all-time top goal scorer in Premier League history. So for me, he has to be above Aguero. He has to be above Aguero because he has that record, and that record, he's a striker. The main goal of a striker is to score goals, and to have that record, he has to be top three.
Yeah, so that's fair enough. I just want to ask. So Rooney in this instance, clearly you're not going to say Aguero, but Rooney, he's number 2, but also has a plethora of Premier Leagues. Does that still not compete?
You see, Rooney, why he's above Aguero, because not only has he done it in Premier League, he's done it in Champions League as well. Yeah, and he's, for me, a better all-round footballer. He's a better all-round footballer than Sergio Aguero.
Well, one thing about I agree with you completely on that eye test, because Rooney didn't only score a lot of goals in the Premier, he got a lot of assists. He played multiple positions. He did score. He scored in Champions. He scored in every round of the Champions League, including the final, which we lost. But he also, he scored in semi-finals and all sorts over the years. Creativity was there, but I don't disagree with your logic, and that's what I'd like to hear from people in terms of, do you disagree with Ites's logic, mate? Thank you very much for the call. Really appreciate that, mate. Speak to you again soon. It's weird to actually agree with him. Final caller, Abs, is on the line. Actually, we've got a super chat here that says Ites's favorite YouTuber is Have Hope. It says a lot. Have Hope is my guy. Have Hope will be making a sensational return fairly soon to the Football Terrace. I hope we're negotiating that now. I'd love to have my guy back. Abs is now back with us. What you saying, Abs?
I'm good. How's everyone? How's everyone today?
Kicking it.
No, we're doing okay.
Nah. Yeah. See, Ites. Sorry, you actually contradicted yourself in that comment, because he said Lewandowski became world class last season, but anyone that actually watches football, Lewandowski got into the final of the Champions League where he was without. He destroyed Real Madrid in the semi-finals or quarter-finals. So his comment again is stupid. Sorry, I'm just thinking stupid. He said, the fact he says Aguero has never been world class. Again, it's a stupid comment. For me personally, since he entered the Premier League for the last 10 years, Aguero has been in the top 5 best strikers in world football. If anyone wants to debate that, I would I would love to see it. But for me, I actually think it's the opposite. I think it's a crime that Aguero has never been PFA Player of the Year, never been in Team of the Year. I just don't think he gets enough respect. I heard, which is the crazy thing.
He has only once. Only once.
Do you know what it comes down to, though, mate? What it really comes down to is, I've had this conversation with people before. Those Team of the Year awards and things, they're popularity contests. Aguero, I don't remember it. I've never seen an interview. I've never learned anything about his personality. There's nothing about him as a person that endears me to him. And I mean that in a respectful way, because he doesn't do anything. I've had a few people comment on here that speak the language or are South American and said, back home, he's looked at in a different way because he does interviews, fun interviews. You get to see his life because it's a language barrier thing. Paul Scholes suffered with it. Not obviously a language barrier thing, but Paul Scholes was such a private, quiet man. No one fell in love with the character of Paul Scholes. Cared about him in that way. I think a lot of the Team of the Year things are down to popular players, not on so much ability, but I like that person. Like Thierry Henry is a great example. He was a baller and deserved to be in it, but he had a personality which transcended. It was, the way he celebrated, the brilliant arrogance of him that was there. Eric Cantona had it. Beckham is another example. Ronaldo. These are personalities that shone through on and off the pitch, and I think that helps you when it comes to those sort of team awards and whatnot. Aguero is one of the most underrated and disrespected football players in Premier League history, in my opinion. When we're looking from pure football sense, and he could have played for any team in any era, and in his peak could have got into nearly every single starting lineup in the world, because he didn't compete with Messi and Ronaldo because they were out wide when he was in his peak. And he just was phenomenal. And I don't like it when people disrespect him. Same as David Silva. He just gets like he was a next number 10, like he was bang average, like he was just a little bit better than someone like Lingard or Oscar. Do you know what I mean? It's a madness. I have a super chat here that says it's an outrageous take. Suarez at Liverpool is world class. Kane right now is world class. Falcao being injured when he was injured was world class. You do not need Champions League to be considered world class player. Listen, I'm just, when it comes to Ites has his logic. I don't mind people. The problem is when you say what's world class is you could ask every single one of us on this show what it is, and you might get 7 different answers. It isn't what you think it is. It's just about being consistent in your argument. So it's like what I say, great manager, I've got to win back-to-back trophies in the Champions League. If I try and say Ollie he won 3 Premier Leagues in 7 years and no Champions League, but then I try and finesse him in as great for some weird reason. That's me going against my own logic. So people have their own take on things, which you don't necessarily have to agree with in relation to that. But Abs, thank you very much for coming on, mate, and having your say. Really appreciate it, bro. Thank you. And that brings us towards the end of our show. Today. I put a link in the description for Dammy's YouTube channel. So go and make sure you're subscribing to that, growing all the time. We are back tonight, 9 p.m. Really good debate show tonight. We're going to have Wax Online on the show. Adam Matic is on the show, and I've still got to secure other people. So come on, we're going to do another tiering show where we're ranking the Premier League's greatest partnerships. So York and Cole, Henry and Robert Pires, Carvalho and Carvalho. Yeah, so we're gonna be pair Beckham and Gary Neville. We're gonna be putting
Lampard and Drogba.
Yeah, man. We're putting that together. We're ranking them tonight, 9 p.m. So make sure you're tuning into the Football Terrace. Until then, like I said before, massively sad day for the football community as a whole and the social media community. But until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye, God bless, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.